Good evening, my students. I decided to go ahead and make a video after some of your classmates have had trouble with some of the assignments for the past 2 weeks. Um, let's go ahead and go back to last week's assignments about what is a proposal argument. Remember, you do have the option to change your problem and solution up from what you originally did. Let's click on here. Remember, you have to continue with the solution to your problem. Let's see. Remember, you can try to find something you feel passionate about. If that doesn't work, you can just change your subject up. Think about your audience, which is me and your classmates, when you do your peer review assignments. Keep us all in mind when you think about your proposal. Pay attention to the first paragraph, second paragraph, third, fourth paragraph, fifth, and sixth, and so on. Before we get into the annotated bibliography, we're going to look at one student's proposal. I'm just going to read it instead of just showing it to you. The problem issue: employees have not been showing up to work on time or not clocking in at all. They're rude to each other and also rude to the customers. Some employees come to work in inappropriate clothing. Workers are going over their required break time. Some even leave break and never come back to work. When on break, loud music is being played in the parking lot when the customers are arriving. Loud music is also played inside the building, which causes the workers to become distracted from getting their work done. The company's daily goal is not being met because workers are not dishing out their daily tasks. Employees often argue over cleaning their restrooms. Phones have also become an issue when working. Customers have also complained about receiving their food late and cold. Drama has also been circling around in the company between workers. One thing I do want to comment on is on the problem issue portion. You got a lot of things going on, and they should be listed in a series of events as best as possible to help guide yourself. Because right now you got all kind of things going on. Um, the solution, objective, goal. The goal is to get employees to show up on time and come to work. The company also needs to meet its daily goal. Employees should start showing professionalism also. Plan or approach. To get the employees to come into work on time, the owner will allow the pay to go up $15 per hour. In order for employees to get this pay, they will be required to show up to work on time with the appropriate attire, carry out daily tasks, and also show leadership to each other. We will also ask for feedback for customers to see if they are satisfied with the customer service and their meals. For every 3 weeks this is achieved, their pay per hour will go up by $1. If the employee reaches the $15 pay and decide to start doing the opposite, then their pay per hour will go back down. To keep the restroom clean, there will be a chart issued for the employees. The chart will consist of the names of the employee and the day they are required to required to clean the restroom. Each employee will be required to do this. If the employee misses their turn to clean the restroom, then they will be required to do it in 2 days in a row. If the employee continues to miss their turn purposely, then it will result from being discharged from the company. If employees are meeting the company's daily goal and showing that they are working hard, then they will be granted with the permission to listen to music. If the music is being played on a speaker, then it must be a volume of where coworkers can hear orders being called out. And for emergencies, if music is being played with earphones, then the employee is required to have one earbud in and the other out. The music playing in the earbud must also be turned down to where the employees can hear. Outcomes. This will encourage employees to come into work on their required days and show up on time. It will also allow the employees to show more respect to the customers, and to each other. This plan will generate a fair wage for the employees in regards to cleaning the restroom. It will allow the company to meet its daily goals and also create a good image for the company. Employees to get the chance to prove that they were the best choice for this company and that they are hardworking. Thank you. And you got your name signed. All right. Um, let's talk about your plan and approach. You do mention the problems that you see that's going on in your job the job you selected, and that's good that you do mention the problems. And I see you're actually increasing incentives. That's a good way to get workers to get more involved in their tasks so they can do the best job as possible. Um, you really focus on taking responsibility, having all the employees take responsibility. It's just part of adulting. That's another subject. If you would like to change yourself to adulting, that'd be a good thing because there's a lot of things on adulting that we can actually discuss on. All right, and your outcomes. I'm trying to think. I want to backtrack before outcomes. Okay, I see you do give some type of freedom with the earbud situation and the music playing, which is pretty good. Um, I know at Walmart they have Walmart radio, and they don't play it too loud throughout the whole store, but it's just loud enough so people can hear it. Barely hear it almost. I guess it's not to distract the customers from their shopping. I guess that's just my opinion. Um, I have used earbuds at work sometimes. For instance, when I'm at Walmart and I have to use the earbud to listen to a meeting, most likely with ICC. Sorry. Hold on just a minute, y'all. Keep getting calls. Okay. I'm sorry. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. Okay. Let's get back on track. All right. Sometimes I will have to have a Zoom meeting at the same time I'm working on my shift at Walmart. So I will have one ear open so I can listen to customers and answer the phone for pharmacy orders and stuff. And then I will also be listening to the actual speaker on the Zoom meeting for our professional development courses. And then another instance I used earbuds is that I actually listened to music while I was checking on my out of dates, making sure that any expired medication will be pulled off before it actually gets expired from the shelf. So I'll just listen to music in one earbud and just try to hide it so customers and my boss won't really worry about it too much. Um, as far as teaching, only time I actually used earbuds while teaching was when we had the Zoom for our first year back from first semester back during COVID when COVID was hitting us hard. I actually had one earbud in while I was on Zoom with with a few more of my students that weren't able to come to school. Lord, I'm sorry. I know this is showing up on y'all's, but my mom was texting me. Okay, but yeah, I will just listen to students' questions in the earbud. That way, they don't actually talk to ask questions out loud. I have done that before where I actually let them go out loud, but I will also just listen to them through the earbud, and I'll answer the question through the camera on my iPad. So that's one situation where I've used earbuds on the job. All right. So looking at this proposal, it is good. You can talk about different things to help flesh it out for a good argument. You can talk about incentives, and let's see, I'll write it down because I'll email this back to you. That way I don't forget. And this is for a student that had the question about this. You discuss more about incentives by looking up articles online, either through ICC Library or Google. You can just say incentives or just job incentives. You should find some stuff on that. You can also talk about punishments. You can talk about improving customer service. Those are 3 points you can talk about to get you a good essay started for your proposal argument. Let's take a look at the proposal argument in Excelsior. I'll let you guys watch that video on your own. Basically, proposal argument is a structure of argument that focuses on presenting some kind of proposal as a solution to a problem. And just keep in mind that you're trying to prove your thesis as a solution to the problem. Remember, your thesis is your guide throughout your whole essay. Just when you're thinking about your thesis, think about your solution to a problem and how you feel about that, but don't state it like, I feel, I think, I believe. Don't use anything like that when you write your thesis. Just simply state your claim, say what you're going to say, and just try not to use those phrases. Because in higher academic learning, that's kind of frowned upon because you have to be more critical to what you're thinking about for your paper. It's also outlining the details of the proposal and providing good reasons to support the proposal. And I did mention some other things that you can do for that, as far as the talking about punishment and work incentives and all that. Okay. And there is, I think we already did that. Let's go ahead and talk about the annotated bibliography. Basically, annotated bibliography is just you summing up a whole article. You have to make your citation first. When you make your citation, make it just like you would in your actual works cited page of your essay. And then after you make your first citation, also they have to be in alphabetical order too. When you make your first citation, go ahead and sum up your article. And make sure you follow this format right here. The first sentence should state what the author's main point is in the source or the section of the source that you're using. The next 2 to 3 sentences should include further important information from the source. I do not want to see any direct quotes or in-text citations, or you're just paraphrasing the whole thing or summarizing it, but you don't necessarily have to cite it. I just don't want to see any direct quotes from the actual article, because you're mainly just focused on summaries right now. Summaries, paraphrases. You don't have to cite it because you already have your citation at the top before you actually start your annotated bibliography for each source. The last 3 to 4 sentences to explain how you plan to use the source and particular bits of information from it in your essay. I always think about how do you plan on using what you read to support your thesis. Like, you're using other authors' words to help support your own ideas, but you also have to give them credit, plagiarism's sake. All right. Paragraphs for the annotated bibliography should be no shorter than 6 sentences. There should be no longer than 8 sentences. If you want to do 10, that's fine. I will let you do 10. You must have a minimum of 3 required sources, and each source must have a short paragraph explanation in order for you to get credit for this assignment. And let's look at an annotated bibliography sample. If it decides to load up. I'm not sure it's going to load up. Okay. It should look like this. Make sure you have your last name and page number in size 12 Times New Roman font. It needs to be titled Annotated Bibliography. Notice in the first citation, it's in alphabetical order. And you can tell, well, I'm sorry, there's just one citation, but it's just going to be, and well, here it is, yeah. There's the other one, yeah, ABC order. All right, in this one, Adam Scott Dilbert, Harper, 2002. Adams' Dilbert cartoons are known for satirizing everyday workplace issues. This is their main topic sentence for this whole summary, and they'll be discussing it as they go. The cartoon on page 106 illustrates how rampant internet use in the workplace has become and suggests that both employers and employees are well aware of the practice. The cartoon points out the difficulty employers face in trying to restrict employee internet use. This cartoon will show the perceived attitude of both employers and employees toward internet use in the workplace. Also, when you're reading this sample, notice that they are in third person. In this essay, I do want you to try to get out of using first person and definitely stay away from second person. You shouldn't use second person at all in an academic essay. I prefer you to stay in third person to get your mind set on just saying he or the author. In this case, Adams. Just do something like that. Just don't say I, you of any kind. Like the understood you and all that. Yeah, just don't do that. And the second one, there's citation. Lamont's book offers honest advice on the nature of writing life, complete with its insecurities and failures. Taking a humorous approach to the realities of being a writer, the chapters in Lamont's book are wry and anecdotal, and offers advice on everything from plot development to jealousy, from perfectionism to struggling with one's own internal critic in the process. Lamont includes writing exercises designed to be both productive and fun. Chapters in the text could easily be included in the curriculum for a writing class. Several of the chapters in Part 1 address the writing process and would serve to generate discussion on students' own drafting and revising processes. Some of the writing exercises would also be appropriate for generating classroom writing exercises. Students should find Lamont's style both engaging and enjoyable. And that's how that would end that. All right. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. The pre-writing chart. Also, make sure you're reading everything in your Canvas assignments. That way you can get the gist of what you're supposed to do. All right, here's a pre-writing chart. Components, source 1, 2, 3, so forth. Other solutions. Your solution is such as the cost, and also your solution as manpower. You can talk about employees or students. You can talk about family members, just whatever you want to go with that. Your solution, talk about the workability and how you plan to implement it. You could be like a manager. You're dictating what rules are to be done, and you're actually dictating like responsibilities of certain employees in this kind of case. And opposing sides, everyone who might disagree with your idea. For instance, in See, professionally, it's ICC. I do disagree with some stuff as far as like what we're being taught, and well, as far as what my students are being taught, because they give us a canvas shell and they want us to teach from that shell. But I do want to teach students how I was taught in school as well, as far as like graduate and undergraduate related stuff. Because I do want students to try to get on the level that I was on when I was in school, but I do understand that y'all are trying to do other things pertaining to your degree field. But critical thinking is very important for whatever you're trying to do in life. If you just don't want to go into like a regular field, just like if you just want to be a manager at a store or some other business, critical thinking is still involved in that. But yeah, I do have my disagreements with the curriculum, but I just have to teach it because they told me to teach it. But I do sneak in some things that I do want you guys to know about, such as the Halloween assignment we did on MTV. I get y'all to do critical analysis on a video. It's actually a video about fear, so we can talk about that. As far as the other job, the pharmacy, I have had disagreements with the higher up managers as far as health and wellness goes, and we have to deal with ridiculous stuff that doesn't make sense, like we have to call for final checks. That way, if a prescription is marked for a pharmacist to call, well, actually not call, but to talk to the patient when they pick up their medicine, pharmacist has to pick that up, but pick the prescription up from from us and talk to the patient after they get done paying for it actually. And then if they don't do that, if the prescription is marked for them to counsel the patient, and if our big boss or her big boss comes, looks at the camera or looks at pharmacy notes in the computer and find out that the pharmacist has not counseled that patient, the pharmacist can get fired. So we will lose an important individual in the pharmacy. And if we lose a pharmacist, that's going to hurt us really bad. It's already bad enough when we have technicians quit or get fired or whatever reason. It's already bad enough. But when the pharmacist goes, it slows a lot of stuff down. But yeah, I just believe if a patient already knows about an issue with the medicine, they should just let them go. But I think if the pharmacist really has talked to that patient, like if there's a dosage change in the medicine or if there's an allergic reaction going on, as far as like if they're allergic to a type of medicine that the doctor prescribed and the doctor forgot to change it up to something else, they'll bring that to that patient's attention. I do agree with that because that is important. All right, those are my examples. And let's go back here. Also, not everybody has turned in the work-life balance assignment for attendance. Please go back and read that particular article. Preferably the first 2 pages or first 3 pages. I forgot what I put on there, but I'll go ahead and check it on real quick. Read the first 3 pages. Yeah, that's what I put, first 3. So not many people have turned that in. And I will grade the rest soon as I can according to my schedule. And let's go ahead and talk about this one. All right, proposal argument assignment. That was in the other module. Let's go ahead towards the outline. Use this template. If you don't know already how to format a paper, MLA formatted essay, you just use this. Last name, page number, your header. Don't forget who your teacher is, Mr. Westbrook. Don't put any other teacher's name. I have had students in the past put another teacher's name on an assignment, and I took off points for that. I'm that petty. Put your title of the essay. Your thesis statement should be just 1 sentence. I noticed that the instructor that made this one made it a compound sentence, and technically that's not supposed to be a compound sentence because you got several independent clauses there. So don't worry about that, but just worry about just one complete sentence. It could be a dependent clause with an independent clause. I prefer that. Okay. All right. Notice as your Roman numerals 1. First sentence is a claim that tells why your solution will work based on the history of this problem. Remember that is your topic sentence. Just one sentence, no compound sentence. All right, supporting detail. This sentence will be a quote, paraphrase, or summary of information from your research matrix history section and will include the parenthetical or in-text citation at the beginning or end of the sentence. If you do not remember how to do that, please go back in your Canvas modules on citing sources. Purdue OWL has a lot on that, so please look at that if you forgot how to do that. As far as the quotes, I only want to see at least one quote from your actual sources. Everything else, I want to see paraphrases and summaries along with the in-text citations so that you don't get doubtful plagiarism. All right, supporting detail B, this sentence will explain the information from your first source. This will be explaining your use of it and how it relates to your thesis. Sentence. All right. C. This sentence will include information from your research matrix history section and may be a second source or a second bit from the first source with the citation, and then you explain it, and so forth. And you do each. As far as like the manpower workability section, those will be different body paragraphs where you'll be discussing that. And it goes all the way down, just like that. All right. All right. More in-text citation help. I want to see something like this, according to Bob Anderson. When you do bring up a source, this is a good way so you don't get doctor plagiarism. And also this one right here, Anderson, page 57. Now in higher learning, as far as like graduate and undergraduate work, it's trying to think how I'm supposed to word this. All right, I was told from my past professors that when you introduce a source, like when you use a source for the first time, you need to introduce it with the author's name and also the title of their work or whatever you find that source in. And then after that, you can just refer to each citation, well, each source when you use a source material. You just use the author's name and page number, or just the title of the work if there's no author available. All right. And please review these if you need extra help with those. All right. The graded assignments for these are argumented proposal outline and the works cited argument essay. All right. If you have any questions, please get with me, email me, or Canvas message me, and we can try to solve your problem a little better. For that student that emailed me, I will respond to you with the other suggestions I made to help you out. And I hope y'all have a good night and continue to do your work. Please stay in the class. Don't drop. If you stay in the class, you're going to pass as long as you help yourself. I help people that help themselves. All right. Now, guys, think about your futures. Just don't drop. Thank you and good night.